All right, so how do you answer my question? If you had to bet today,
If I had to bet, you make it tough when you phrase it that way.
and this isn't who you want.
I know. That's why it's hard. If I had to bet on who the Bears coach is to start 2025, if I had to make a bet on it with my hard-earned money, I'm betting Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, if you're the house, isn't he minus 150 right now or something?
I would think he's got to be the favorite. Yeah. As of right here, right now, they're a 4-3 football team. Like, as bad as it's been, as critical as we've been, I shouldn't say as bad as it's been, but as critical, and rightfully so, as we've been with some of the missteps the last year and a half, I think the favorite's got to be Matt Eberflus.
What if you had to, if you were the house, how would you put the Eberflus versus the field bet? Like odds-wise.
The field is always going to be
because that's everybody else.
Because it's everybody. Like who I would make.
But he's also the incumbent.
I would still have him probably the favorite.
Oh, you would have him the favorite.
I think so.
Eberflus.
Yes, I still would.
I would too, but it'd be close to. So here's the question: like, do you guys think it's going to be are the Bears winning 9 games this year?
I hope because I have over 8.
I know you
I
hope.
think it's 8 or 9.
But that's the thing.
8.
9 feels like he's pretty well back. 8 is where I think it's Ryan Poles. Does he put his finger on the scale here and says, "My guy"?
Again, but again, like I know what people love to do, and I know what you're doing there, Meller, where you're using wins. But if the coach isn't making those wins better, and if he's taking away wins, and if the players are winning those games and he's not helping around the margins, like a quarterback can win 9. But if he's not the top 10 quarterback, you're always looking to move on from him, especially if you have to pay him. And Eberflus is going to be coming up for a new contract soon. So why not play the same logic with the coach?
Oh, I agree with the way you're assessing it, but I'm trying to answer your question in the sense that the way Ryan Poles has showed us,
yes, I know.
When he makes a selection on somebody with Velus Jones, he likes to hang with it and give him every chance to succeed. That's why I feel like if they get 9 wins, he's going to make every now. If it's 8, that's where I think it gets interesting.
No, even with 8, you guys, I think he's staying. And man, I'm telling you guys, I committed the cardinal sin on Sunday.
No pun intended.
I chalked it up as a win, you guys. I'm like, I think I even at one point in the madness of our group text chain when they took the lead, and I'm like, I can't believe this is going to happen twice in a year already. But I'm like, I'll take it for the over.
Why would you do that?
I made the
and White Sox Dave did that too. He was talking about, I'm not apologizing for a win.
I'm like, well, but I mean, I just said it amongst us as if like it's great for my over 8.5. I mean, I counted that one, you guys. I counted it as 5, and I'm like, this is great. They're going to get to 9. And if they fall on 8 and I lose that bet,
I didn't think that was going to happen, but I didn't count it as a win once they scored. There was still too much time.
Well, I'm talking about when there were like 2 seconds.
Oh.
When there were 2 seconds left, I think that's when I fired it off because like whatever we were discussing in the chain and all right, they gave him that big chunk and we were like, that probably wasn't the best. But I'm like, well, in my mind it was like, okay, they won this game. Somehow they won. There's 2 seconds left. They're at their own 35. I'm like, they won. And boy, oh boy, if they hit.
How did you react at your house?
Oh, I was.
Did you throw something or did you yell?
I couldn't believe it.
Did you yell?
I didn't yell.
I yelled no and slumped in my chair, and then I sat quietly.
I think I let out a big 4-letter F word, and all I thought about because I'm a greedy pig was,
you're over under.
Yes, and I'm like, you got to be kidding. I was like. I think I did one of those, and then I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, God, if that comes back to haunt them at the end of the year.
And it will in some way, shape, or form. Dre in DeKalb, you're on ESPN 1000. What's up, Dre?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I was just referring back to the crosstalk when you were having a Yurko, and my point was, I don't know he was saying it was bias, but I was just saying that if it was bias responsibility, I correlated to something like basketball. Like, I know you got your man and you have your responsibilities, but on a breakaway, on a fast break, if your man is floating to the sideline and the ball handler is coming straight to the middle to go up for a layup, don't you go to the ball and stop ball? You know, I know your assignment is to guard your man, but you got to stop balling in the moment. You have to have some type of awareness. So somebody dropped the ball on that because nobody showed any awareness about number 85 being behind everybody else in the end zone.
The only thing I would say, Dre, is you're right, but in basketball, you're looking at it. You're looking at it. That's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
Dre's point is right.
In a fast break, there's one guy back. Like this, there were still 6 guys. How many guys were in that pile?
It's a big scrum of
so
bodies.
So if you're expecting other guys to be in their spot, should he be aware that Tyreek Stevenson was not doing his job?
I don't know. And, like, he's thinking about his job and where he's supposed to be on the field. Like, now, are you supposed to just sense there's a guy behind you? You know, maybe some guys would have a feel for that. Like, wait a minute, we got to, deep is the deepest. Somebody screwed up. I'm going to protect us and get as deep as the deepest. I think that's what Yurko's point is. I don't know. It's a tough ask. Like the basketball analogy, yeah, you're right, but you're looking at that. Yeah, okay, I better go protect the rim just in case. And if it gets kicked out to the 3 for a corner 3, so be it. But I went and I took away what was the easiest thing in front of an oncoming offensive player. Like, you're looking at it in basketball. It's a little different. So
we need to call Dave Tobe and ask him what's right or what's wrong.
Well, Matt Bowen put out a great diagram like seconds after it happened. There's a Hail Mary defense that's pretty universal. You have 3 guys lined up on the goal line who all have a designated responsibility: the spiker, the jumper, and the savior. And the Bears were missing the savior on that final play, whose responsibility is we think it could have been Elijah Hicks.
Hicks was is the savior, the back guy.
Yes.
So Hicks did. That
it's
was
possible.
Hicks.
That's what we're thinking.
We listened to Kevin in the break.
Kevin Byard, the way
his explanation. Yeah. He wasn't completely clear that it was Elijah Hicks, but it sounded like the way he was explaining it that Byard's responsibility was to be the jumper on the play. And in that case, if that's the way Byard explained it, Elijah Hicks, his responsibility was to be the savior, the guy who was the deepest with the deepest.
Deep as the deepest.
And
somebody has to be as deep as the
Tyreek
deepest.
Stevenson's supposed to be in front of him to box him out. Yes.
Correct.
Yes. And then once it's tipped, you're allowed to tackle him.
Of course.
Like, that's the thing. Like, once the ball's in the air, you tackle him.
No PI when the ball's tipped, folks. That's the whole point.
Porter in Lake Zurich here on ESPN 1000. What's up, Porter?
Hey, what's going on? I just had to say, I have no idea who the coach is going to be next year, but I had a question. I mean, do you guys think that Poles thinks Eberflus is still the guy, even after all of this? I'd say it should have been Harbaugh last year, but we had to bring in Kevin Warren. He doesn't get along with Harbaugh, so we missed out on that opportunity. And then the other question I had is, do you think we're ever going to get to the point where we have to start thinking about, is Caleb going to leave this city? I mean,
we're not starting that already.
No, that's not even. Porter, it's too early.
7 games
You're going to give me agita, Porter. I can't handle it. I can't.
So, because of all this going on, I want to play you to what Caleb said today, because you compare the way he speaks about accountability versus the way the head coach speaks about accountability, and it's night and day. And this kid's played 7 games in the NFL.
He's pretty mature beyond his years.
Yeah,
we've always known that.
Yeah,
he is.
Shy Guy in Cary, you're on ESPN 1000. What's up, Shy Guy?
Hey, Silvy, you're spot on everything. You know, everybody's thinking what you're saying. And Caleb is, you watch Hard Knocks, and you think Caleb should be behind the desk and Eberflus should be gone.
I don't want him behind the desk. I want him being my quarterback and continuing to get better. Yeah.
The mentality.
Yeah.
Caleb is right there, and Poles is great. They're 2 millimeters away from making this all happen. You got to make the decision. It all filters down. And then you got Stevenson, who's playing emotional, and he goes up and tips the ball where he should be playing his deadlock and pick up the guy behind in the end zone. When he was talking to the crowd, he should have picked up on that. Instead of going up for the ball, he should have recognized that guy's right in the end zone and ready. I mean, it was too much of an easy play. I mean, everything went wrong.
Everything. Thanks, Shy Guy. 312-332-3776. So we'll continue to take your calls. We're going to do a Waddle's World early today because we've got Patrick Finley from the Sun-Times at 4:30. Jeff Saturday is one of the rare guys, too, who defended him and Yurko both didn't think the spy was that big of a deal. And also, Saturday is someone who doesn't think the 13 yards they gained was a big deal at all. He's one of the few
get
because,
that.
when I hear the Patriots guys talk about it, they said no cheap five. I don't know if you heard.
McCourty was saying.
Yeah, Devin McCourty on Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
Yeah.
312-332-3776. That's our phone number. Carmen's in for Waddle. Don't forget to join us tonight. We're at Cork and Carry, the original one in Beverly, for Whiskey U tonight.